when the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace. And this is the most important value of COPOE. We cannot change society without accepting our mistakes and taking responsibility for our mistakes. It's not about just criticizing for the sake of it. It is helping. It is locating the problems so that we can together find solutions with harmony, respect. It's not about tolerance. It's more than accepting other people to be different. It's accepting them. It is celebrating the differences. So love has to be cultivated. And hey, there's a wonderful webinar about the power of love that you can see on the net, led by Patrick. You can watch it, and you can later this year watch many more about how to cultivate the love that is so needed on the planet. I think we can be inspired by a lot of beautiful humans on Earth, such as great singers, John Lennon, and many others. I think we will invite a lot of people who will make a difference at this platform, at this webinar. Some might be famous, some less famous, doesn't matter. If you have ideas which can make a difference, you will be welcome at this platform, this COPOE webinar. And another person you can be inspired by is Ayele Omelu, who is doing a lot of work to stop the conflict between Israel and Palestine. You can watch more information at the website israelistiniancandies.org. And there is another beautiful, wonderful human being called Frank Scarf, who has founded earthrepair.net. I suggest you have a look at this website and keep a note of it. earthrepair.net is due to do a webinar soon on COPOE, and he has a very concrete project to transform society like us, and the plan is to convert the military budget into a budget to save the environment. It makes sense because the dangers at the moment are no more coming from another country. They are coming from our own stupidity with the race for the more sophisticated weapon. And this leads to the fundamental human rights, because what is the most important value that we have to encourage? I suggest you have a look at the fundamentalhumanrights.org website. The first of the 3 articles you can find there is Article 1, humans have the right to be alive and healthy. If we don't agree on this fundamental principle, what chances have we got to build a paradise? Do you agree? You can type yes if you do here. You can go on the fundamentalhumanrights.org and see the others. The second one is about the freedom to think what we want, to say what we want, and move wherever we want to go. The third one is about education, the right to be educated and to choose our education. It makes sense to have at least 3 articles. The reason why the fundamentalhumanrights.org has been set up and these articles have been set up is because we have already human rights, but they have been used to justify abominable cruelty, crimes, including wars. So I believe that they are not clear enough about the right to be alive and healthy. Obviously, when they have been first set up, the human rights in 1989 in France, at the time of the revolution in France, a lot of people got their head chopped in the name of the freedom of the other people. So they were missing the most important point, I believe, the right to be healthy and alive, without which we push humanity into a cycle of violence. If we say there is a possible justification to kill or harm one person, it leads to the murder of millions. Okay, so the fundamental human rights is part of the important points we will speak about this year, and in fact we'll speak more about that when we speak about networking. Because if we can build a large network of people supporting the fundamental human rights, wow, we can make a difference in the world. We'll speak this year about nonviolent communication as well, because this is a very important part to achieve peace on the planet. We speak a lot about physical violence in our world, but not as much about verbal violence. If you watch TV, you find that it's almost acceptable to speak violently, or politicians insult each other all the time. It looks like it is normal in our society to use violent verbal communication. However, the more we look at it, the more we see that violence starts there. If we cannot make peace with our communication, well, it's translated into wars eventually, and fights, and physical fights, and we first have to develop the skills to be peaceful together in our communication to have a chance. Why have we got conflicts on Earth? Because of the bad communications. The Germans have fought the French for a couple of generations, and I remember stories of my grandparents about it. It was all about bad communications between populations. I wouldn't imagine that the French people would fight the Germans. No, because they have a good communications between them. In the past, with the bad conditioning of the media, which have a big role to play in this bad communications between populations, we find that the use of violent communication can be responsible for huge conflicts worldwide. So if you go to beam.to/nonviolent.com, you will see great information that can make a difference in your communication with others and help you to communicate more peacefully with everybody else around you, and that can have an impact, huge impact, for your peace with your community around you, or your family, your friends. And we will have a webinar about this for sure. It's a wonderful subject which can make a difference in our world. About a planetary language, what will it be? English, Esperanto, Chinese? At the moment, obviously, English is the planetary language. It is possible that it could change in the future, because Esperanto is very quick to learn. You can learn the grammar of Esperanto in a day or in an afternoon, which is amazing. So I believe Esperanto has some chances to come up, because I believe it could become the language of the robot of the future, Esperanto, because it is much easier to program. So I believe Esperanto is not dead. Esperanto could be a new programming language in the future. Yes, so there will be a webinar about that definitely later this year. But at the moment, if you want to interact with the rest of the world, yes, you have to learn English. This is a planetary language right now in 2009. Let's speak about robots, because in the future we'll have robots and they can make a difference. Robots can be used for good purposes, but as well as bad, of course. We have to consider the good ones. Robots will happen. They are already happening right now. In fact, your computer is almost like a robot. It doesn't need it has already a webcam, so it can see, it can listen, it has a microphone, it can record sound. So it cannot move yet, but it's not going to be long.